about 12 of us there that first year, and we had a blast, and I just kept it going all these years. And eventually, David's family heard about it, and they started showing up. And so that kind of ties in with this weekend because Baber's family invited Sarah and I. Yesterday, we were in New Hampshire to celebrate the 100th birthday of Baber's daughter, Julia Ruth Stevens. She turned 100 yesterday, so that's where we were yesterday. So we just flew from Boston this morning, and now we're here, and so like we're a couple of jet setters or something. But it's been a crazy weekend. But to be invited to that party and then to hear, to be honored with the Hilda Award, it's just been a crazy weekend, and we're just thrilled to be here. So, I knew I was familiar with Hilda Chester. I know she was a big Dodger fan. You should go in the park and ring her bell and bring her signs. And I think it's so cool what the Baseball Reliquary has done. And I'm just proud that they recognize the efforts of our grounds crew. And I'm just pleased to be here and to be here. Arnold Haino, and at the same time, the Reliquary is honoring Don Newcomb and Bo Jackson. It's just a thrill to be here. So Sarah and I are just so thrilled to be here. But as far as the Nathan Field grounds crew, it may have never happened without Tiger broadcaster Hall of Famer Ernie Harwell. He passed away in early May of 2010. And like many things, I went to Comerica Park to pay my respects to Ernie. And then I came home later that day, and I caught a little story on the news about how some fans didn't want to go to Comerica Park to remember him. Their way to remember him was to go onto the old field at Michigan and Trumbull and play catch. And so that really touched my heart. I thought that was a great story, and I thought, I didn't know that you could get out there. I didn't know that the field was open. So I went down a few days later on Mother's Day of 2010 with Sarah and some of our friends. And we just went down there just to be able to take some swings, to play catch, play on the same field that so many of the greatest players ever have played on, over 200 Hall of Famers, played on that field. It's just a thrill to be there. But once we started playing, I wasn't that excited because I saw the condition of the field, how tall the grass was, the weeds everywhere. You could barely make out the dirt infield where it was. There's so many weeds. The pitcher's mound, everything, baselines, nothing but weeds, garbage everywhere. So I figured, well, I got a riding mower, and I can cut the grass. So I figured I'd go home and call my friends and see if anyone was interested. So I did. I went home, called my friends, and we came back a few days later, and we had our first cleanup at the ball field. It was the 12th of May, 2010, and the city wasn't happy that they were there. An official from the city came out and told us we weren't welcome there, but we weren't leaving. We stayed. We continued to work. A few minutes later, the police showed up, but they left us alone. They left. So that was our first day at the field, and so we continued to come back every week. And the city continued to threaten us with arrest, so we kept coming back. And eventually, it took a while. They finally left us alone, and we were just happy. We knew the city didn't have the resources to maintain the park, and we did it because we felt it was the right thing to do. And when I was out there, I remember the first time I was out on my riding mower, out there in left field, and I thought, wow, this is where I used to sit in the left field grandstands, and there'd be number 23 right in front of me, Willie Horton, out there in left field. And I thought about the history going back even decades earlier. I'm thinking that's the same spot where the Tiger fans pelted Joe Beck with garbage in the 1934 World Series after he slid hard into Tiger third baseman Marv Owen. So all that history, it lives on there. And and I cut the grass in center field and think, wow, Tris Speaker played here. And I go in right field, Babe Ruth played here, and L.K. Line. There's just so much history there on that field. And what happened was the people then in that neighborhood, it became their park. Obviously, we were concerned with preserving the historic dimensions of the field, but we also wanted to be a park that everyone could enjoy. And that's what we had for 6 years. We had an open park, accessible to everyone. Even if people didn't want to play baseball, they had picnics, they had parties, they could walk their dogs, fly a kite, And actually, we were happy people walk their dogs, because we had a problem there with the Canadian geese pooping all over the field. It got to be terrible. We tried all kinds of things to get rid of them, and I was even putting up these fake owls in the outfield, hoping to scare them away, and that did not work. But the dogs did, and it was great. So people had a place where they could run with their dogs, and we turned that field. We really did a great job. We're not professional groundskeepers. We didn't have a sponsor. We paid for everything ourselves, and one time we had a groundskeeper from Comerica Park come out and tell us that our dirt infield was professional. And we did a great job. We had no watering system. We just relied on Mother Nature. And the field really looked good. And we were hosting Little League games, adult fast pitch games, vintage baseball, the way it was played in the 1860s. We had many games over the last several years there at Michigan and Trumbull. So, it's been a grass, it was a grass baseball field from 1896 up until about 10 days ago. But, because the configurations now are the Navy Field configurations. The park opened the same day as Fenway Park in Boston on the 20th of April, 1912. So the dimensions were the same, the history is all still there, and we did everything we could to preserve it. And before that it was Bennett Park. It was a wooden structure, and home plate was actually at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull. So that's why when you're going to say Michigan and Trumbull, because many years ago home plate was there. But since 1912, the configuration was the same, and that site just means so much to so many people. And on dozens of occasions, we've witnessed people scattering the ashes of their loved ones there. And that's just when we're down there. So I have no doubt in the last 5 years, 6 years, that probably 200 people or more have had their ashes scattered there. So the site means that much to so many people, and at least 5 couples have been buried there, including Sarah and I 2 years ago. So to many people it's sacred ground, but we just enjoyed it so much, and we've had several former Tigers come out to visit the field. We've had 1968 world champions, Denny McClain come out, and Mickey Lolich. And Mickey Lolich came out, and he came out to watch his grandson playing a Little League game. And he had a great time, and so a couple of the 1984 Tigers have also come out, Lou Whitaker and Dave Rosema, and another former Tiger who was just all around good utility man. He could play just about every position. His name is John Walkenfuss, and he's not a famous Tiger, but I don't think I ever saw a better hit and run man than John Walkenfuss. I mean, every time he just delivered a base hit into right field, and he's a right-handed hitter, and he could catch, he could play first base, outfield, third base, and but he became a huge supporter of ours. And he actually drove up from Delaware a couple of years ago just to play baseball with us on that field, to play ball with us and his fans. So we've gotten a lot of support from former Tigers. Not so much from the city, but that changed this year. They did recognize us. As Terry mentioned, he was a Spirit of Detroit Award. So, eventually they recognized our efforts. But we were very disappointed to hear that. We're not anti-development. We're not anti-PAL, the Police Athletic League, who got control of the site. But we really did think the historic park like this, the grass should have been preserved. And not only that, we had a 9-acre green space in the heart of the historic Corktown. And the people in the neighborhood really loved being able to go out there. That's all going to change now. The access is going to be gone. But we think it's great that kids will continue to play baseball there. But as far as our grounds crew, we're going to move on to new projects. We weren't just passionate about Michigan and Trumbull and baseball, and we're passionate about improving the city, and we love Detroit. And some of our grounds crew members live in Detroit, and some don't, but Detroit lives in all of us, and we're going to continue on. We've already cut the grass at Clark Park this last week in southwest Detroit, and we're going to be cleaning up and fixing up other baseball diamonds as well. Many people have said you should move on to maybe try Hamtramck Stadium. That was an old Negro League park, and it's one of only a few left in the nation that's still standing. and that one needs a lot of work, and that may be a future project for us. And that's what I'm wearing my Detroit Stars jersey here, like the Great Turkey Stearns War back in the 20s and that. So, so that could be our next project. I'm not sure. And actually, I wore this jersey when I got married to Sarah at home plate, so 2 years ago. So. Yeah, but it's been the people I've met from that grounds crew are the greatest people. These volunteers are amazing. Some of them drive hours each way just to come to that field every weekend, year after year, driving hundreds of miles to pick up garbage, to rake the infield, to pull weeds. And it's just the most dedicated group. And while it's sad that they tore out the field, these people that I've met over the last 6 years mean so much more to me than the park ever did. And I'm just honored to have made so many friends over the last 6 years. And we're going to move on, and we're going to continue to do what we can to work on improving the city and to do what we can to fix up ballparks in Detroit. And I'm honored to be here today to receive the Hilda Award. And thank you.